Uh, I just feel like so many of us try to hide. I mean, have you seen or heard some of the stuff that goes on in the world today? Violence, bullying, people scrambling for work, religious attention. I mean, sometimes I just don't know what to say when someone asks me about my views on the why coming on something.
I understand. I mean, when Carmen came into the cab, all I wanted to do was blend in. So she didn't see me, which is fine when you don't want to get like a beat down. And then I started to think about all the other times that I've tried to hide. You know what I mean? Has any one of you ever tried to hide?
I know what you mean.
Oh, really? Sometimes you try not to be so present.
Well, sometimes I'm not straight like Jesus.
Okay.
Can I go for a second?
I don't think that's...
Okay, well, see, I was reading Romans 12, and remember when Paul was speaking to the Christian brothers, he was instructing them not to follow after the pattern of Israel. They were having weddings with nations. Not only that, but they were worshiping great nations and a false god. Instead of Israel changing the world changed Israel. See, personally, I don't want to be like that, but sometimes I can't help it. I read somewhere that Christ met unbelievers where you were. He realized what many Christians today still don't seem to understand. Cultivators have to get out in the field. According to one count, the Bible records 132 contacts Jesus had with people. 6 were in the temple, 4 were in the synagogue, but 122 were out with the people in the mainstream of life. Jesus was able to witness without performing.
I understand what you're saying. Have you ever heard of the word suske mutitso?
Nah, man.
It means to conform to one, to fashion oneself according to one, to inform or fashion oneself, one's mind, one's character according to another's pattern. You know, that definition reminds me of the word camouflaged. People on Duck Dynasty wear it all the time. The purpose is to not be seen, to go unnoticed, to not draw attention to ourselves, to blend in with the surroundings. It's an advantage for the military and for sportsmen, but it's disastrous for Christianity. Matthew 5 verse 14 to 16 says, "You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven." D.L. Moody once said, "A holy life will make the deepest impression. Lighthouses blow no horns, they just shine," which is what God asks us to do. So how do we avoid becoming camouflaged Christians? How do we keep from blending in with the world?
That was probably rhetorical, but I'm going to jump in here anyways. I think there needs to be a difference in the way we think, because what the world sees as alright or okay doesn't really match our views as Christian. Or should I say God's views? Because God reminds us, my ways are not your ways, your thoughts are not my thoughts. And in Philippians 2, verse 5 to 8, it says, "You must have the same attitude Jesus Christ had. Though he was God, he did not think equally with God as something to cling to. Instead, he gave up his divine privileges. He took the humble position of a slave and was born as a human being. When he appeared in human form, he humbled himself in obedience to God and died a criminal's death, cross." Like Jesus, we must think of others before ourselves. The mindset of this world is me, myself, and I, but there needs to be a difference. We need to be focused not only on God, but also on the people around us. To do that, we must have a consecrated mind. Colossians 3, verse 1 to 5 says, "Since you have been raised to new life with Christ, set your sights on the realities of heaven, where Christ sits in the place and honor of God at the right hand. Think about things of heaven, not the things of earth, for you died to this life, and your real life which is in Jesus Christ and God. And when Christ, who is your life, is revealed to the whole world, you will share in all the glory. So put to death the sinful earthly things lurking within you. Have nothing to do with sexual immorality, impurity, lust, and the evil desires. Do not be greedy, for the greedy person is an idolater.
Yeah, and we also need a careful mind. It's so easy for our minds to wander. Even here at church, some of the conversations that you hear are so not God-inspired. In 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13 to 16, it says, "Therefore, with a mind that is alert and fully sober, set your hope on the grace to be brought to you when Jesus is revealed at his coming. As obedient children, do not conform to the evil desires you had when you once lived in ignorance. But just as he who called you holy, so be holy in all you do. For it is written, be holy because I am holy." We need to be on guard for what goes in here, because it ultimately comes out here. With everything you see online, the lyrics of the music you listen to, the gossip at work, the scandalous shows on TV, all of it affects your mind one way or the other.
Okay, guys, let's think of a solution.
Well, the Bible has so much advice. It's just really hard to put it all into practice.
Wait. Hold up, guys. You know what? I think I have an answer for you. In order for us not to be conformed, I think there has to be a difference in our mind, and in our logic. Like we have a different mission or purpose. The mission of service and sacrifice. If you think of it, when Jesus came to earth, did he come to be ministered to or to minister to us? And even though the world keeps constantly saying, buy the latest, greatest, whatever, and do the latest, greatest, whatever, just remember, our lives are in his service and not ours. In serving Jesus, we must sacrifice our time. We are only given 24 hours in a day and 7 days in a week. Come on, people, what are we doing with our hours? Like, there's so many, like, Instagram selfies we could probably take.
Hashtag myself, hashtag me, hashtag
Nathan, serving Jesus, we must sacrifice our talents. God has given each and every one of us, his children, gift. I think it's about time we start to use them. In serving Jesus, we must sacrifice our treasure. God has blessed each and every one of us with property. And just remember, we are managers of his property and not our own. In Romans 12, verse 1, it says, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Each and every one of us sacrifice our life in pursuit of something, but the question God asks is, what are we purchasing with our lives? You know, school, career, prestige, a beautiful woman.
So what you're saying is, what all of you who are all up here for some reason, what you're saying is for us to refrain from being camouflaged Christians, there needs to be a difference in our logic because we have a different mind. A difference in our labor because we have a different mission. And a difference in our lives because we have a different master.
I agree. 2 Corinthians 5, verse 17 says, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new."
We're not the same we used to be.
We are not to live our lives as we have lived them before.
No more camouflage Christianity.
Exactly. We have to be in the world, but we don't have to be of the world. The world can't afford us to be camouflaged Christians. Matthew chapter 5, verse 14 and 16. It says, "You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before men, that they may see your good deeds and honor our Father in heaven."
An incident took place in Texas where a certain community was very dark. They didn't have any street lights, and so this certain community petitioned the city of Texas to get some new street lights put up. Newspapers stated that once the lights were up, the crime subsided for a while. But someone took a rock or something and knocked out the street lights,